Here. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, my brother.
Thank you so much for joining us on Guide 91.5 FM.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we want to ascertain the reality about the proposal from the National Sports Authority to Kumasi Asante Kotoko and then Glorious Hearts. The main reason why we are calling you this morning to let us know all the arrangements between these two clubs. Uh,
Very
so,
well. Morning to your listeners. Um, in the past, or the norm has been that we always use what we call the function statement. We only generate revenue from ticket sales
yeah,
for every match. We don't pass on the cost to the clubs. And so the arrangement has always been, sales of tickets and then deductions are done. The deductions are 70% of the net after expenses goes to the home club or the home team. 10% goes to GFA, 10% goes to NSA, 5% goes to GALCA, and then 5% goes to PLB. And so that has been, the norm for, deduction of revenue for stakeholders.
okay.
But then when it comes to the maintenance of our pitches, the pitch is the center of attraction when it comes to football. If the pitch is not right, you can't have a very good game. And we spend so much on pitch maintenance or management. We do what we call fertilization, aeration, raking, and all those things. We have contracted green grass technology to help our staff, our estate department, who have already been trained to maintain the facility or the pitch. Um, Looking at the cost of maintaining or managing the pitch, we quantified it and we came up with a figure of 5,000 cedis. What it is every morning we do this exercise, watering, fertilization, and all those things. Same in the evening, every day. It's a daily routine. Now, if we should play a match, I wouldn't want to mention any team for me to stay safe, in this conversation. At the end of the day, the money that we generate sometimes is within the range of 800 cedis. Sometimes it's within the range of 900 cedis. Now, looking at the cost of, preparing for, such events, we have category A matches, B matches, C matches, but in honoring every match is the same regulation, same number of security needed, same number of medical people, same number of, pitch management, that goes into it. So in the past, with the sales of tickets, it's only 5% of the sales that goes to pitch management, which is woefully inadequate in our estimation. And this has, piled up. And now is the time we think, we have to sit down with the clubs, realistically to be able to maintain the pitch. The national teams also use the
Yeah.
same pitch. And it's sometimes difficult, and this conversation has been going on for quite some time now. So we had a meeting with Accra House of Folk and Accra Lions. They use Accra Sports Stadium. And then Kotoko. By then, their administrative manager, Dasubre, had this appointment at CAF, so he wasn't around. But we had conversations, or discussions with these clubs, those who use the facility. And they thought that it was a bit on the high side. I'm talking about just the pitch maintenance, which we thought the cost is within the range of 5,000 cities, per match. And so, all these clubs are affiliated to GALCA, that's the Ghana League Club Association. And so they also had discussions with GALCA, and GALCA officials also came to NSA to sort of have a discussion on the matter to see if something could be done, about the figure. So finally, we concluded that, okay, then we'll bring it down to 4,000. And so that was agreed, with the clubs.
Okay.
Just 3 days ago, then I saw this issue about Kotoko, saying they will move their venue to another venue. But I would say that these are early days. All the clubs, we have good working relations with them. So at the end of the day, we'll be able to, resolve this issue.
All right. About Amofa, what specific benefits will Kotoko derive from allowing the National Sports Authority to mount pitch panels and advertise their own sponsors on the scoreboard?
Thank you very much, my brother. We've never had the opportunity to also, as it were, advertise, any of our stakeholders or corporate organizations that we work with. The clubs, take over the pitch panels during matches. But then we also feel that, look, we need to find innovative ways of generating funds. And the pitch panels is for the National Sports Authority. And we also have a marketing department. And so we also have one or two corporate organizations. We'll even be coming to BG to see whether we can also do business with you. So we are also finding ways of generating funds, revenue to be able to, as it were, help us to do our work. But then in the past, it's only the clubs that, advertise their products on the pitch panels.
Again, Charles, how will the NSA ensure that the additional revenue generated from these new terms are invested in maintaining and improving the stadium facilities?
Oh, sure. I mean, just like I said, on the match day after, sales of tickets, and then you realize a figure of about, let's say, 800, 700. You cannot break even. And so once we are able to, charge, the clubs, for using the facility with realistic, charges, I can assure the general public that it will be there will be a paradigm shift, from what we have now.
Okay. But can you again provide clarity on the risk and security fee of 5% in the second option, how this will be utilized?
The second option was not even part of the discussion. The discussion was just about, the first
option.
We wanted,
okay.
Yes, the second part wasn't. I think that was generated by somebody else. That advert is from a media house. If you could look at it,
yeah.
I would, for purposes of, privacy, I wouldn't want to mention the name. So this is not coming from the sports authority.
The sports authority usually have been renting out the facility to other bodies as well. But how are you guys going to balance these activities and events with Kotoko's scheduled matches, particularly in December when the stadium may be closed for NSA events?
Thank you very much, my brother. The NSA has written a letter, and the Director General wrote a letter to the GFA indicating to the FA that they should factor in, the season where somebody say we could host events. That's the month of December. That is when we can, also host other events. The facility is a multifunctional facility. Other disciplines also use the facility. And then the facility could also be utilized for conferences, concerts, all those things. So we've already written to the GFA to, as it were, factor in, December to be a month, where we could also use it to honor some of these events.
But how do these new terms align with the NSA's commitment to supporting Ghanaian football and sports development?
Well, as for sports development, we have about 52 sporting disciplines under the Sports Authority. They use the facilities for free. When you come to Accra Sports Stadium, for that matter, every morning you see boxers, table tennis players, taekwondo, basketball, volleyball. They all use the facility. They also use our utilities, water, and all those things. The cost is not passed on to the national teams. So for sports development, that is our core mandate. It's something that we've always been doing over the years. But football, we all know, is the big brother of all the sporting disciplines. And what goes into one football match is what I've just told you. It's just, it's just huge. It's huge.
What is the timeline for Kotoko or Hearts of Oak to responding to this and then implement their new terms? And what are the consequences of the non-compliance from these two clubs?
For the two clubs, I think even yesterday I was with the general Accra Lions general manager with my deputy director. They don't have a problem. We're going to sign the agreement with them. Kotoko, we're hoping that we'll be able to resolve the issue in the coming days.
Okay, so we'll just leave it there. We are hoping that Kotoko and Hearts will actually come to the agreement with you, and then we are going to see both clubs using your facility, and we will just come back if there's the need for us to come back to the authority to know the latest development. Thank you so much once again, Charles.
Thank you for having me, my brother.
Bye. All right, so that was the public relations officer of the National Sports Authority, Charles Amofa, talking to us on the proposal from the National Sports Authority to Hearts and then Asante Kotoko for the usage of the Kumasi Babayara Sports Stadium and the Accra Sports Stadium.